We are in the Void Sake Company. The brewery was founded in 2020, and then we opened up to the public in June of 2021. So in the front, we have the retail space, bar, tasting room, and in the back is our production area. Me and one of the other owners, we have been in the craft brewing industry and the beer side of the craft industry for, I want to say like 6-7 years. And we did different small batch beers with Japanese ingredients in them, one of them being a koji beer. And that's the first time we've ever grew, heard of, tasted koji. That is the organism that we culture on a portion of the rice. Well, they also use it in sake making, and they're like, let's try some sake too. And then we just decided to keep making it just as a fun kind of pet project. And then several years later, we decided to pursue Kentucky's first and only sake brewery. I am the head brewer, or toji. It's not like I went and got trained at like a certain sake brewing school in Japan. We had to wade through a lot of stuff, and a lot of the stuff when we started this wasn't translated, so we had to either use Google Translate to try to get a rough idea, or rely on some other brewers in the US that also dealt with the same thing, but they had translated stuff, or they had contacts in Japan that they brought back with them that helped us. It was frustrating starting out just because there wasn't a lot of material to get into the depth that we wanted. Cell and developmental biology is what I did in grad school, so there is a lot of microbiology and chemistry to this. It is a very hands-on process. You have a deep connection with whatever you're making. So we get the rice. Once it's washed, then we soak it. So that's it's kind of the prep for the next step. It's just steaming. And then from there, we split the rice into 1 or 2 places it goes to make koji. A lot of care needs to be taken for the koji, otherwise you don't get a good fermentation. We'll lay the rice down on this table to cool. We need a hot, humid environment for the mold to grow. From there, we'll put fresh steamed rice in a tank with the water that we need, koji, and yeast. These are our big fermentation tanks. We'll load rice, water, yeast, and koji. The fermentation lasts about 30 days. So we'll actually come in here every day, gently mix the mash just to kind of homogenize it. From there, we press it. We have a more traditional style of press. It's called a fune press. Fune just means boat in Japanese. That liquid that comes off goes into a tank, and at that point, that's sake. And then once it's hit the age that we want, then we go to bottling. Our standard sakes, we do a standard clear sake, we do a cloudy sake or nigori sake, and then we do a ginshu sake, which just means uncut, barrel-proof sake, if you will. We do things like horchata, which is our nigori with vanilla and cinnamon. We do a cold brew infused nigori. We've also played around with other non-traditional ingredients, like we'll add gold leaf or silver leaf to certain things. We do a lot of fun flavored sakes that are familiar to a lot of American palates to bring people in, and then once they're in here, then we can kind of teach them about sake, introduce them to more traditional styles. In 2021, we entered into a wine and spirits competition. It was in New York, so it's the World Wine and Spirits Competition. And they had just opened up like an American sake category. So we entered our, the Messenger is our clear Genmai sake, and then our Opalescent, which is our Genmai Nigori sake. And we won silver in both those categories, which we were really, really excited about because we were not even open a year, and we got those awards. So, and got to compete with other breweries, both in Japan and in the U.S. So, being the first and only in Kentucky does have its challenges. The main thing is just educating people. People's kind of preconceived notions about sake may be, when they've had hibachi or sake bombs, which are fun, but Sake can be so much more. So main thing is educating people about what sake can be, kind of changing people's conceptions of it, expanding their understanding of what we think is kind of a magical beverage.
Enjoy more Kentucky life. Subscribe now.